Sorry, yeah. Well, I see what you're saying. Like, could we just say, hey, I'm certain I would be willing to go along with that? No.
PCR 2016 at 120
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Deputy Prosecuting Attorney Rick Damerville for the State of Hawaii. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Statute Shurping on behalf of Peter Kema Sr. He's present, standing to my right. He remains in custody.
Mr. Shu.
Thank you, Judge. State and defense have reached an agreement with regard to disposition of this matter. That agreement has been memorialized in the form of a change of plea duly executed by my client, and I believe it's sitting on the bench.
Are you Peter Kema Sr.?
Yes, I am, Your Honor.
I have before me a waiver of indictment form and a guilty plea form relating to this case, FCCR number 16-1-120. Before I go over the forms with you, I'm going to ask you a few questions and then go over an advisement to paragraph 10 of the plea form. Are you thinking clearly?
Yes, I am, Your Honor.
Within the past 40 hours, have you taken any medication, drank any alcohol, or used any illegal drugs?
No, Your Honor.
Are you presently sick?
No, Your Honor.
Can you speak, read, write, and understand English?
Yes, I do. Yes, I can.
And you are 46 years old,
Yes.
and you have a 12th grade education.
Yeah.
Okay. So please pay attention while I go over this advisement with you. If you're not a citizen of the United States, whether or not you have lawful immigration status, you have the right to receive advice from your attorney about the specific impact that this case will have, if any, on your immigration status. The entry of a guilty or no contest plea, admission of guilt, or sufficient facts, or conviction, deferred judgment, or deferred sentence may have the consequences of immediate detention, deportation, exclusion from admission to the United States, or denial of naturalization pursuant to the law of the United States. Somebody brushing up against the microphone. In some cases, detention and deportation from the United States will be required. Your lawyer must investigate and advise you about these issues prior to commencement of trial, which of a guilty or no contest plea, or admission of guilt, or sufficient facts to any offense punished as a crime under state law. Under those offenses designated as infractions, you are not required to disclose your immigration or citizen status to the court. Did you understand what I have to say?
Yes, Your Honor.
So in light of this advisement, you may ask for more time to consider on whether or not your guilty plea in regard to this case is appropriate. Are you asking for more time?
No.
So the court finds Mr. Kema understands that he has right to ask for more time to consider whether or not his guilty plea in regard to this case is appropriate in light of the advisement given to him by the court, wherever he has knowingly voluntarily waived that right. So, Mr. Kema, now what I'm going to do is go over the waiver of indictment form with you. The waiver of indictment form, regarding that form, did you sign on the line for defendant's signature?
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
And did you sign in front of your lawyer?
Yes.
And did you sign after going over the contents of the form with your lawyer?
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
Do you understand that you have the constitutional right to require the state to establish probable cause before the state can begin formal felony prosecution in circuit court?
Yes, Your Honor.
And do you understand that in order to establish probable cause, the state must offer sufficient evidence to lead a person of ordinary caution or prudence to believe and constitutionally entertain a strong suspicion that the defendant has committed the felony charge or an included felony?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand that if the grand jury concludes that the state has established probable cause, and if the grand jury returns an indictment, a defendant then has the right to obtain a written transcript of the grand jury proceeding, and this transcript might help the defendant prepare for trial?
Yes.
And do you understand that by waiving indictment, a defendant gives up the right to a probable cause determination, and also gives up the right to obtain a written transcript of the grand jury proceeding?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Are you waiving your right to prosecution by way of indictment or other probable cause determination? And do you agree that the proceedings in this case may be by way of a complete instead of an indictment?
Yes, I do.
The court finds Mr. Kim understands that he has the right to have the state prosecuted by way of indictment or other probable cause determination. He has knowingly, voluntarily waived that right, and further agrees that the proceedings in this case may be by way of a complaint instead of an indictment. Is Mr. Kema asking for a reading of the complaint superseding indictment?
Wait.
So, Mr. Kema, I'm going to go over the guilty plea form now with you. Are you pleading guilty to count 1 of the complete superseding indictment, which charges you with manslaughter?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
And are you pleading guilty to count 2 of the complete superseding indictment, which charges you with hindering prosecution in the first degree?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
And did you receive a written copy of the complaint superseding indictment?
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
Did your lawyer explain the charges contained therein to you?
Yes, he did.
Do you understand the charges?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Did you tell your lawyer all the facts you know about this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did your lawyer explain to you what the state's evidence is against you, what your possible defenses might be, and what facts the state must prove in order to obtain convictions against you?
Yes, he did, Your Honor.
Are you pleading guilty of your own free will?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is anyone putting any pressure on you, threatening you, or forcing you to plead?
No, Your Honor.
Are you pleading to protect another person from prosecution?
No, Your Honor.
Do you understand that you have the right to plead not guilty and have a speedy and public trial either by a jury or by a judge?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
And do you understand that if you were to have a jury trial, then the decision as to whether you're guilty or not guilty would be made by 12 jurors who are citizens of the United States and residents of the county of Floyd?
Yes, I do.
And do you understand that the jury's decision as to whether you're guilty or not guilty must be unanimous? That means all the jurors have to decide either that you're guilty or not guilty.
Yes, I do.
And you understand that if you were to have a jury trial, then you would have the right to participate in jury selection.
Yes, I do.
Do you understand that if you were to have a trial, then the burden would be on the state to prove you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt in order to obtain convictions against you?
Yes, I do.
And you understand that at a trial, you'll be able to see it here and have your lawyer question witnesses who may testify against you.
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
And you understand that at a trial, you would have the ability to call witnesses to testify on your behalf.
Yes.
You understand that at a trial, you would have the right to take the stand and testify.
Yes.
And you understand that at a trial, you would have the right not to testify.
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand that by pleading, you give up the right to file any further pretrial motions, and you also give up the right to a trial, may be found guilty, and sentenced without a trial?
Yes, Your Honor.
And do you understand that by pleading, you also give up the right to appeal anything that's occurred in this case to this state?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Do you understand that you could be subject to following possible sentences under count 1, a 20-year prison term, a fine of $50,000 of both, and in regard to count 2, a 5-year prison term, a fine of $10,000 of both?
Yes, I do.
Do you understand that, at least in theory, you could be subject to extended terms of imprisonment, and if those are imposed, then you could be subject to a term of life in prison under count 1 and a 10-year term of imprisonment regarding count 2?
Yes, I do.
Do you understand that in regard to count 1, you could be subject to 6 years, you would be subject to 6 years and 8 months mandatory minimum term of imprisonment, which means first, you have to serve time in prison, and second, the minimum term of imprisonment would be that amount of time you must spend in prison before being first eligible for parole.
Yes, I do.
Okay. And do you understand that a sentence could include other terms besides the terms relating to incarceration and the fines?
Yes, I do.
Are you pleading guilty because after discussing all of the evidence and receiving advice of law from your lawyer, you believe that you're guilty?
Yes, I am, Your Honor.
Regarding count 1, is it true that on or about January 1st, 1997 to and including July 14th, 1997, in the county state of Hawaii, you, as a parent of PK Jr., who you knew was less than 8 years of age at the time, had the statutory duty to care for PK Jr. and to assist, obtain, or attempt to obtain aid from law enforcement or medical personnel, and that you failed to do so, thereby recklessly causing the death of PK Jr.?
Yes. Yes.
Regarding count 2, is it true that on about January 1st, 1997 to and including January 20th, 1998 in the county state of Hawaii, you, with the intent to hinder the apprehension, prosecution, conviction, and or punishment of another person, assisted such person in avoiding apprehension, prosecution, conviction, and or punishment.
Yes, Your Honor.
Is it your understanding that the statute of limitations periods have expired regarding these two charges? And that means that the time limits to have these charges brought have expired?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And are you specifically waiving your right to assert the statutes of limitations regarding these charges, and you are specifically agreeing to give the court jurisdiction to have these charges addressed, and that's in order for you to take advantage of the plea agreement in this case?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Is a plea agreement in this case that in exchange for a guilty plea, the state agrees to have you plead to the charges, you'll be agreeing to prison terms of 20 years and 5 years regarding counts 1 and 2 respectively, and you agree to a mandatory minimum term of prison of 6 years and 8 months as to count 1. You agree to forfeit any and all evidences in the case unless the state specifically agrees to return the same, and you agree to pay restitution jointly and severally with Kema in amount to be determined later to cover funeral expenses. The state agrees that you will recommend concurrent sentences between the two counts if you provide information which results in the successful recovery of Peter Kema Jr.'s body, or if the body cannot be recovered, that you pass a polygraph examination regarding the location of the scene. And other than that, both you and the state can ask for any legal sentence. So are those the terms of the plea agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand the terms?
Yes, I do.
Do you have any questions about the terms?
No, I don't.
Okay. Oh, yeah, there's one more thing. And it's part of the plea agreement that if you commit another crime prior to sentencing, or if you fail to follow court orders, or fail to cooperate with the probation officer in regard to a pre-sentence report, if one is ordered, then the state would not be bound by the plea agreement and can ask for any legal sentence. So again, are those the terms of the plea agreement? Do you understand the terms? Do you have any questions about the terms?
No, Your Honor.
The court has agreed to follow the plea agreement under court rule. Besides the terms of the plea agreement, and the court's agreement to follow the terms, were you promised anything else?
No.
No? Okay. Did you go over paragraph 10 of the plea form with your lawyer?
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
Beneath paragraph 11 is a signature line for the defendant's signature. Did you sign on that line?
Yeah, yes.
And did you sign in front of your lawyer?
Yeah.
And did you sign after going over the contents of the plea form with your lawyer?
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
Do you have any complaints about your lawyer?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with what your lawyer has done for you in this case?
Yes, I am, Your Honor.
And do you understand by entering into this plea, you will not be allowed to withdraw your plea later?
Yes, I do.
Mr. Assure, what is your representation with respect to the certificate of counsel?
So certified.
Again, Mr. Kema, what I'm going to do is ask that you sign at the bottom second page of the plea form, and that is so that you will acknowledge that the common counsel form with you.
Record should reflect that Mr. Kema has affixed his signature in the space provided for the same at the bottom of the page, thereby acknowledging that the court questioned him in open court regarding the execution of the change of plea form.
The court finds that Mr. Kema understands the consequence of his plea, and that he has knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently entered his plea away with his right to a trial. The court accepts the plea and have it filed. So, Mr. Shaw, what's the plea regarding sentencing?
We need to set it out, Judge. We're not proceeding today. I would say 30 to 60 days. Probably 60.
Okay.
We're asking for a PSI, Judge, and it's a long record. To his credit, he's offered to cooperate in trying to find the body, so we may ask for an additional 2 weeks for any possible DNA testing.
60 days sounds good.
That sounds good, Judge.
And schedule the sentencing hearing.
Monday, June 9 at 8 a.m.
Can just have a minute, Judge, please. Sorry. June 9? It's fine.
So, Mr. Kema, you're reminded that under law, you're not to own, possess, or control any firearms or ammunition. So, do you understand that?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
And the sentencing hearing in regards to this case is scheduled for June 9, 2017 at 8 in the morning. You order to appear in court for the sentencing hearing. Do you understand?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
And so you order to cooperate with that process. So, do you understand that?
Yes, I do.
And we'll be asking counsel to provide input to the probation office for the purpose of sentencing at least 3 weeks prior to the time of the sentencing hearing.
Very good. Thank you, Your Honor.
Anything else, Mr. D'Amato?
That's all I have, Judge. Thank you.
Sure.
Nothing further, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Yeah.